All right, and we're live.
Well, I've got this crazy little box in front of me that says Adaptogen Elixir. And many of you haven't seen it, so let me just share a couple of the highlights from the box to set the stage for our conversation this morning. It says, supports your ability to adapt to stress, fights fatigue, helps balance your body, improves mental clarity. Only 15 calories per serving. Someone's gonna care about that. But my favorite, sip your way to serenity. If you're intrigued, and I know we certainly are, then you're really going to enjoy our conversation because we're sitting down today with the man who knows all, Dr. Joshua Plant, who happens to be the Chief Science Officer here at Isogenics. Now, for those of you that don't know him, little background. As our Chief Science Officer, Dr. Plant oversees the research and development, product design and development, product commercialization, and quality assurance of all of our products. He's also the chairman of the Isogenics Scientific Advisory Board. He received his doctorate degree from Harvard University. Let's try that again. His doctorate in medical sciences from Harvard University, and likes to always remind me graduating number one in his class.
As he should.
Yes, I guess somebody had to. Apparently it was him. I graduated in the part of the class that made the top part possible, so I think that might have something to do with it. But he is a father, 4 children, married, of course, enjoys racquetball, weightlifting, and one of my personal favorites, reading political sci-fi thrillers.
All right.
So Dr. Plant, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. And I'm glad you could spit that phrase out. It's important that we remind everyone I'm better than my classmates. So no, thanks, Michael.
Yes, the comments, they're calling you the wizard. They're wondering, if you even have any extra time. So.
Oh, I enjoy being busy, but actually this is what's crazy. As a scientist, this usually goes against the grain, but this is actually my favorite part of the job, is talking to people specifically about the products that are out there. So thanks for having me on.
Well, perfect.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah, let's dive right in. So considering the number of health and wellness products Isogenics currently has in the 26 markets around the world, including our latest sensation, of course, Collagen Elixir. Let's type in the comments how excited you are about that. Please share why you are so passionate, Dr. Plant, about Adaptogen Elixir.
All right, this is good. This is a really good question, and you get me kind of monologuing, you'll quickly realize I am a middle child, and I never relinquish the mic once it's handed to me. So this is something that I'm very passionate about, right? You showed the box there beginning, and the reason that I'm so passionate about this is because it's so simple. I do believe that the benefit of this industry is providing simple solutions to people, and we saw that with the Collagen Elixir. If you're wanting to diminish the appearance of fine wrinkles, improve your skin elasticity, skin moisture, it's not a 17-step regimen that you have to do. And you don't have to look at the phases of the moon to know which part you're supposed to be in at the time. But it's simply take and drink. All the work behind that was done before it came to you. And it allowed you to simply beautify yourself in a way without having to bombard yourself with toxins and without having to complicate it. Now, taking that a step further is exactly what we've done with Adaptogen Elixir. Beauty is something that we all want. We never want to admit we want it, but we all want it. But the Adaptogen Elixir is absolutely something that we all look for. And it talks about kind of reducing the impact of stress. And this is something that is like, it's the nebulous world out there of like, what does it mean for stress? Stress for me is something that's completely different for, Lynn's stress, right? Lynn's stress is sitting right next to her. My stress is, and so we all have, stress means different things to us. And so, yeah. But this is where I think when we take a step back, let's go to like the ancient times, stress, what our body was designed to respond to stress accordingly. That fight or flight response that we all have. It saves us, right? A bear jumps out of the woods. We get the fight or flight response. The bear leaves the situation. We come down. And during that fight or flight response, our body has this cortisol reaction. It sends us into this tailspin, but then it leaves. The problem is in today's environment, we don't have that depression of that stress level. We go from stress situation to stress situation to stress situation. Our body is in tune to respond to stress appropriately, but if we can never actually remove that stress response from our body, it becomes exceptionally unhealthy for us. And what we have noticed today is that whether being stuck in traffic, whether it's deadlines, whether it's bills, whether it's family challenges, you name it, we are just bombarded from stressors all the time. We've got metaphorical bears jumping at us left and right. And so we are in a constant fight or flight situation. And what does that mean for us? Well, it means we're not sleeping as well. It means we're having weight gain in the places that are not healthy for us, so usually in the belly, the visceral areas. But it also means things like we're not as ambitious. We have feelings of laziness. We have feelings of being tired throughout the day. We have feelings of being impatient. And so when you actually can respond better to that stress, it's not just oh, cool, like, hey, I had a glass of wine, I'm feeling better about myself, right? That's not the feeling that you're actually looking for. When you actually remove that feeling or that a physiological response to stress, you find all of these other areas of your life improving. You're finding yourself feeling more ambitious. You find yourself sleeping significantly better. You find yourself being more patient. You find yourself not feeling as lazy. These are the things that our body, in essence, has. You're not like stuck in the middle of sea swimming as frantically as you can for air. All of a sudden, you found a little bit of a life raft. And that opens up so many areas of your life. You're able to think more clearly and everything else. So, long story short, realizing that there's certain botanicals out there that have been scientifically shown to help mitigate our body's response to stress. These are called adaptogens. And really what it is it's a family of botanicals that have that effect. And what we have done is we've actually collected the most powerful adaptogens, coupled them together in a very synergistic, meaning complementary way, using unique, powerful extracts of these adaptogens and put them in a simple, convenient, easy to drink solution that helps us have that solution in our lives. And so that is what is so powerful behind this is, hey, I'm helping to, you to respond better to stress, and everyone will kind of roll their eyes. But when you actually sit down and think about it, what that actually means for the quality of life, you're not turning around yelling at your kids as much in the car, right? My kids are giving to me this all the time, right? You find yourself sleeping better. You're getting up feeling more ambitious. You're going to the gym. You enjoy the feelings at the gym, right? You feel better about what it is. And you find, in essence, your whole mood throughout the day is better. And so to me, this is one of the most needed products in the world today. Everything is out there with helping you look better, but very few things are getting to the root of helping you feel better and what that translates into all the other areas of your life.
Okay, so that being said, a couple of things. For those of you that are watching this live, you probably know that on Friday night, July 30th of 2021, we're going to officially release this product into the North American marketplace. If you're watching this after Friday, July 30th, you can go ahead and place an order for it immediately because it will be available for you in those markets.
Oh, in Australia too. Right?
Oh, is it Australia too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and probably New Zealand as well, I'm imagining. Yes? All right, but here's the thing. So what's going on in my body? I mean, I know if I have a glass of wine, I get it. It's alcohol, it's a depressant, my motor skills slow down to the point where they say, don't get in a car, because you're just dumber by the minute. But we've tried this product and it's almost like you're drinking wine, but your clarity, to your point, is sharpening, not
it's a
dulling.
calm with a focus. It's incredible.
Right. What's going on in my body when this hits my lips and I want more? What's happening?
That's a great question. And this is what's unique about adaptogens. And in the drug world, it's easy to articulate that because you create a synthetic compound, a simple synthetic compound that works directly in one different area. Adaptogens actually have a collection of all of these different phytocompounds that work through a variety of different physiological ways. So you could imagine if I am sleeping better, all of a sudden I'm articulating better, I'm having more ambition. Now, this is a, chicken or egg scenario. Oh, you slept better, therefore you're doing this. And so scientists, we really don't understand. There's so many different mechanisms that are working in parallel, that there is no one that is driving it. It's really kind of a whole system approach of working in different areas. Now, one area in which we measured in a clinical study, I'm going to throw out some very complicated words here, right? But one area that we actually looked at is what's called your sympathovagal, right, ratio. And what that means is that is your low frequency to high frequency heart or your sympathetic nerve system. And so that ratio, as it goes lower, meaning you have a higher frequency, you have more higher frequency, your body actually has a lower stress response. And so you can actually measure your sympathetic nerve system of how your body is responding to stress, right? A bear jumps out, that ratio shoots through the roof, right? Now, we measured this. We measured this frequency component, and we found that there was a 34% reduction in that frequency, meaning the body is in a situation to where it's not in the middle of the ocean just swimming to catch breath. It's sitting on a life raft, and it's now sitting to where it's kind of like, deep breath. Let's start to think a little bit more clearly, right? When you're in the middle of the ocean just swimming for everything you can, you're not thinking about, the world's problems. You're thinking about your immediate challenges, and that gives us that ability to kind of rise above. And so by bringing that down, a 34% reduction, that is crazy, right? And then as a result of this, we found, this is what's crazy, is we actually did a study to where we looked at sleep quality, right? So we have people sitting in your room staring at you guys while you were sleeping and you didn't even know it. So, yeah, Michael, stop being a blanket hog, right? I'm just kidding. But what it is we found that there was a 31.2% reduction in sleep disturbance.
31.2?
31.2% reduction in sleep disturbance, meaning less tossing and turning, deeper sleep, higher quality REM, all of those components. And so in a world where people are looking at every type of solution, knowing how important it is to sleep better, people buying like the 70-pound blankets, this pillow that's made out of, such and such duck feathers from Sour Place or whatever it might be. When in actuality, by just having your body respond better to the stresses it's being exposed to, it sleeps that much better, right? And this is what's interesting, right, is you double click on this even more. Now, is it the sleep that's doing this, or is it the actual adaptogens? But then you do a self-assessments. People had a 40% increase in their ability to concentrate, right, based upon self-assessments. They had a 33% increase in energy, meaning I'm feeling less tired, and 50% increase in feelings of ambition, right? I'm like loading these up on my kids all the time. I'm careful saying that, 18 plus. But this is the one that I do love is you see almost a 50% increase in patience as well. And so what happens is it seems like the world just seems to slow down a little bit, a little less chaotic. We're not chaotic, and we're not in this situation to where we can't think straight. And, when you're on that life raft, the world just seems to slow down a little bit. You're able to think, you're able to find solutions better. And we are in that situation to where this kind of puts you on that life raft. It just seems to slow down a little bit. You're able to think more clearly and move better. And that's really the power behind these certain botanicals.
Well, and what I found, and I know you've talked about this before, Dr. Plant, but we were able to try this, and Michael and I each had 10 those bottles. And after just a few, it was so notable for me. Incredible. I couldn't wait to take it again. And then as I was getting closer to the end, I know I had mentioned this to you. Michael says I cried. I didn't cry.
I didn't say cried. I said she started to cry.
And I just said, oh my gosh, I literally cannot even imagine not having this in my life. And
we got down to 4. So that's 2 for each of us for the second to the last day, and then 2 for each of us on the last day. And I took mine first. So now we have 3. And it was like, she looked at that in the refrigerator, recognizing she was going to have hers. Then there would only be 2, but since we were sharing them, there would only be 1. And the look on her face, and I love her dearly, but the look on her face was like, don't leave me like with these. And okay, you can have my, you can
He
have my
gave
two.
his to
I
me.
gave them to her.
That is good. You know,
I wasn't happy about it.
a true
That's
partnership. Yeah, I've realized in my 19, I just celebrated my 19th year anniversary, and I'm realizing real quick what they mean by partnership is when she's happy, you're good, right? That's what a partnership means. So good job, Michael. And this is, you bring up a good point though.
The craving of it.
Yes, this is actually one of the rare products in the supplement space, right? Like, let's be honest. How often are you sitting here and you get a supplement product and people out there, and it's one of these where they're like, okay, here we go, you know, and they force themselves. Well, if you're constantly having to get over that hump, it's you don't really crave it. One, the taste of this. It's a kombucha base, and it's naturally carbonated, meaning that, you know, it's carbonated due to the fermentation of the tea leaves, and so the taste is absolutely wonderful. A lot of people hear kombucha and they think, oh, that doesn't taste good. General kombucha doesn't taste good, but we've done a masterful job. So the taste of this is very, very good. And in fact, it's one of our highest tested product based upon just palate alone. But what's interesting is because people have that feeling that the body actually has that physiological response to the feeling, right? You will find that your body is craving that feeling. It's no different than the person who, you know, you talk about this runner's high, this metaphorical runner's high for all those people that go out there and run, right? It's a legitimate feeling. That body, like, oh, I love it. And they crave the ability to go running, right? There's those individuals out there that if I don't go run every morning, I get grouchy and I get irritable, right? Because they need that feeling of that run that it gives to them. Well, in this, your body's all of a sudden in a relaxed state. It's like, I love that life raft you put me on. I want to be on that again. I want to sleep better. I want to think more clearly. I don't want to be in this heightened stress situation all the time. And so your body is physiologically craving that feeling because it is such a healthy feeling that it has. It's taking its first breath of fresh air in quite some time.
Well, and I kind of went out on a limb to say, you know, after experiencing just a few days of it and the notable calmness and the better sleep, I just love how I felt. I loved how it tasted. I love the delivery system, just everything about it. And I sent a message to Dr. Plant and others, and I said, this is going to be bigger than collagen. And some of you might be thinking, how in the world? But after what you just heard with Dr. Plant, think about all the names and the people that came into your mind that need something like this in their life. And like you said, there are so many supplements that people have good intentions in the beginning, and then they fall off. Even if they think they're getting a result, they fall off. And Michael and I have been doing this for quite some time. And like he said, we've never had something where we're so looking forward to taking it again because we love what it's doing.
Collagen Elixir, I would say, fits into that category as well. It's not a craving, but the results are just so amazing. The flavor, it's so easy to take that there's a desire. I'll say that. There's a desire to take it every day. But this would really go beyond desire into a craving. Like you feel like you need it. So let me ask you a couple of really specific questions, and we can just kind of keep the answers so we can move through this really quick because I know what people are wanting to know. So first of all, who is this for? Who should take it? Let's talk about what age, male or female. Is there any? Who should be on this product?
And who?
Yeah. So who should be on it? Well, if you live in today's environment, you're likely exposed to stress all the time. So male and female, right? It's meant for everyone. We do have 18 plus on there due to it being an adaptogen product. I give it to my kids, right? But recommendation is 18 plus in that. And then similarly, right, for individuals, pregnant or breastfeeding, just consult your physician on that situation. Is probably the best if you're overly concerned.
Okay. And then when it comes to collagen, we heard about double dosing. Mm-hmm. You know, you could take 2, you can kind of get ahead of the curve, et cetera. How about this? Is there a limit to how many I should take? Does it matter? Am I just wasting money, so to speak, if I take 2 or 3 or 4 because my body can only adapt so much?
Yeah. So we haven't done the kind of the curve of effect. We haven't done that where you're just kind of like, giving somebody the big gulp version of this to kind of see if you still get the similar increase. I would feel confident in saying 2 is absolutely you're going to see increased benefit with 2. I myself will take 2 to 4 a day. but I am 6'4", right, and a large individual. But yeah, 2 very, very good. We do, in the recommendations, we have 1 just as a simple, because the key behind this is something that is simple and duplicatable for individuals to really implement. But for individuals out there that are really kind of looking for it, 2 is very much acceptable dose to have.
Yeah, and I did kind of trial that today, where I took 1 in the morning and then I took 1 in the late afternoon, early evening. And I loved that. I mean, I felt like that was my best result, as far as just really feeling like kind of even keel and focused all day and having exceptional sleep. That was just my personal experience that day.
Right. And to that point, Lynn found that when she took it in the morning, first thing, her day went well, but she didn't notice as much of the sleep benefit. If she took it later in the afternoon, she kind of missed the day benefit, but she slept way better. Is there any truth in that, or is that just in her head?
So in the studies that we did, we allowed them to determine. It was just one serving a day is what they did, and they could determine when they take it. And so you see those benefits kind of throughout. But just as you said, like, obviously if you double that up, you're going to see an increased benefit, especially if you're looking for the sleep and so forth. You can take it at 2 different times in the day. It absolutely makes scientific sense to do that.
Okay. And then, like, some products, there's some products that you want to get on for a period of time, and then you kind of want to mix it up. We've been told, get off it, like our protein. You may want to just take some of the plant-based protein to kind of mix up the protein in your body for a period of time and then go back, or vice versa, if you can tolerate that. Is this something where we should be on it for a period of time and then get off it? Or is this something we should be on it and as long as we're here?
Yeah, it's definitely something, right? Really, the way that I look at this is, until the world changes to where we're not being buzzed and beeped at every 3 seconds, you're going to need something to help alleviate that, right? Okay. We talk about the blue light protectors, to help with the blue light. We talk about wearing sunscreen when it's sunny. And we talk about these things due to just the environment of which we live in. And unfortunately, the stresses, beeps and bumps and everything else that comes at us is something that we, in essence, have to adapt to in today's environment. And the adaptogen is what is allowing us to do that more effectively.
Okay.
Well, in question about Ionix, so how I understand it, Dr. Plant, is that Ionix is more adaptogens, but in smaller doses. But this is a smaller number of adaptogens in higher potency. So something maybe people can continue to take together.
Yeah, this is in no way designed to be a replacement for Ionix, right? Just as we have adaptogens in a variety of, Via has a lot of adaptogens in it, Ionix. And so Ionix, you see, there's, I want to say roughly 12 different types of adaptogens. This has significantly more adaptogen amount, highly more concentrated in that aspect, but fewer of the adaptogens, right? So there was a very strong selection of which ones to give a very strong complementary with each other and putting in a strong dose of those. In no way is this designed to be a replacement for Ionix, a part of the weight management system and everything else. And I do believe, right, if you start to kind of come in, is it this or that, it's going to be very challenging. We did not design this to be a replacement of anything in isogenics, but we looked at this as simply to solve a solution in today's world, and that stress is that solution. One thing we did find, though, is the convenience of it is very, very important. So often you're running out the door somewhere and you want to take something, but you can't. The blending, the mixing, the shaking, the shaker cups in the dishwasher, I can't find the lid, whatever it might be, isn't there, right? And especially if you're having to, palletize it in a way that's not convenient. And so this is something to where it shouldn't, for us to help alleviate the impact of stress by adding an additional stress seems counterintuitive. By the packaging and the delivery system, we are making it as stressless as possible to help remove the impact of stress in your life.
Wonderful.
I love it. And what I love that you guys did is the pricing. So you made it the same as collagen. We all know it. We have it memorized. And so the packs, we're also going to have a 4-pack and a 6-pack of the Adaptogen Elixir. But what I'm really excited about is a very special 6-pack, which is the Feel Good, Look Better bundle, which will have 3 boxes of each. Now think about that. The ease of this, we talked about this with the delivery system, the twist and sip, how easy that is to have that conversation. simple and easy to coach. And again, just I think a great launching pad for our art of well-being. Do you want to look better? Do you want to feel better? Here's how you do it. They see the ease of it. They see the efficacy of it. They're going to see the results in their skin, hair, and nails. They're going to feel calmer. They're going to feel more focused. They're going to have better sleep. And I just see this as being huge for us, and will then open up the door to everything else that we have.
I think so too. So as we're kind of wrapping up here, let's have you leave us with a couple of thoughts, if you could. First of all, give us the best 30-second or so tight scientific reason why everybody watching this needs to get it in their body and keep taking it. What would you say? Give us the science.
Yeah. In today's world, where we're constantly being bombarded of different types of stresses in a continuous situation, whether it be social media or family, whatever it might be, we need a way to where those stresses don't rule our lives, but we rule those stressors. And the Adaptogen Elixir puts it in our hands to where we are in a situation to where we can think clearly and feel better about our day despite those stressors that come to us.
That's awesome.
Sign me up for that.
That's awesome. Yes, the only thing I have to add to this is, like, next time send more.
Yeah.
I understand.
So, we are, just so everyone's aware, based upon our the sampling studies that we've put out there, we actually anticipate this to be as big, if not bigger, than Collagen Elixir. This, the math behind that, the studies of people, how they respond, is huge. And we stocked up accordingly, but that is in no way kind of sit on your laurels and rest. Like, when this opens, there is going to be a rush of individuals coming for this product. The demand out there, we are seeing bigger demand right now, 2 weeks up to the launch, than we did for the Collagen Elixir. So this thing it's really going to put, or in other words, all of our competitors will be looking for the Adaptogen Elixir for the stress we're putting in their lives. So we're looking forward to it.
That's awesome. We'll give the people who are packaging all of this up, give them some e-shots, give them some of this stuff so they could just move forward with like we're going to be moving a lot of product out the door.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it.
It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Plant.